My name is Jason Van Benthuizen. I'm a teacher at Lee High School. I'd say your family can set you up for success, but that does not mean that you're going to be a success. So it will give you a good foundation, but what you do with it from there is up to you.
I think that family does have a role in outputting your outcome, because if you're born into a family who doesn't have a lot of income, you might not have as many opportunities for maybe jobs or certain colleges, and that quality of education can probably affect your job outcome in your future life.
I don't think my family defines my future, but I think my background or like the amount of money my family has does kind of affect how many opportunities I have.
My answer is no, your family doesn't define your future occupation, because your future occupation is all about what you want to do and what you try to achieve. And your family might help you with that, or your family might push you in certain directions, but in the end, it's your decision.
I do believe that families define your future. The way I think of this is families kind of change who you are. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if you're like not a very nice person, having a family and having kids and watching them grow up just kind of changes your perspective on life, and it also just makes you a lot more of a loving person and a kind person in general.
It absolutely does define my future. My parents made a lot of sacrifices for me and worked hard for everything to help me get to where I am today, and they instilled into myself a good work ethic, and being a good person and being kind to other people is probably one of the most important things I need to do in my life.
Tony, campus supervisor. Mom music guides you the right way, so that's I think that's a pretty good answer. I mean, guide you the right way and lead you to the right place where you want to be as a person.
I feel like it's kind of I feel like family can define your future financially, depending on what colleges you go to, how much like you have nice things, but I feel like at the same time what you do in life is your own decision. A lot
My name is Mr. Palma, and I'm a foods teacher at Lee High School. So as a parent of 3 children, my family absolutely defines my future, because when you become a parent, the only thing that matters most to you in the world is your family and your children. And so I do everything I can to support them and help them and give them opportunity. And I think most parents feel the same way. So my future is about helping to provide for them a great opportunity in life, and then at the same time making time for yourself, which is incredibly important. But the good news is, if you take care of your kids now, they might take care of you when you're older.
So our thesis is family definitely defines one's future. However, it might not be in ways one might expect. Family can affect an individual in many different ways, and oftentimes they can have lasting impact on one's future. In this book, family members affect each other through the memory and legacy they pass down from one generation to the next. From the quote on page 15, in the small separate room where the walls gradually covered by strange maps and fabulous drawing, he taught them to read, write, and do sum, and he spoke them about the wonders of the world. Those hallucinating sessions remained printed on the memory of the boys in such way that many years later, a second before the regular army officer gave the firing command to fire, Colonel Aureliano Buendia saw once more the warm March afternoon on which his father had interrupted the lesson in physics. When Colonel Aureliano faced the firing squad, he saw the memory he made with his father once again and figures again in the story. This quote shows the memories created with family members can affect one's future and in time of need also be used as support. In the face of danger, many memories can comfort and help people carry on and survive. Throughout the story, Colonel Aureliano's legacy from leading the revolutionary force to escaping multiple assassinations forged him into a hero, but at the same time caused him to isolate himself from the others. As the greatest soldier in the story and an excellent artist, the legacy of Colonel will lead to his achievement overshadowing his descendant and those after him. Their behaviors and their solitude and some trend might have caused them to believe that fate cannot be escaped and thus they are affected by those that came before them. It is through these indirect connections the author shows us family can affect our future.
He already understood that he would never leave that room, for it was foreseen that the city of mirrors or mirages would be wiped out by the wind and exiled from the memory of men at the precise moment when Aureliano Babiliono would finish deciphering the parchments, and that everything written on them was unrepeatable since time immemorial and forevermore, because races condemned to 100 years of solitude did not have a second opportunity on earth. Marquez 4:17. As Aureliano reads Melquiades' writing on the final page of the book, Aureliano II understands that he will never be able to leave because his family's destruction is foretold in the prophecies. He believes his fate in the prophecies is absolute and that he will always be tied to his family's past. The writing that Aureliano is reading is a prophecy written by Melquiades, which chronicles the arrival of his family in Macondo, to his birth, and lastly, his fate, where he sees if he finishes reading that prophecy, the city of mirrors, or Macondo, would be erased and forgotten. In the end, Aureliano understands that his future was defined by his family and his family's past mistakes that have led up to this very moment where he could choose to destroy his family or forever be locked away.
This is a quote I picked from chapter 18, page 373. At first he attributed it to the fact that Aurelio could speak about Rome as he had lived there for many years, but soon became aware that he knew things that were not in encyclopedias, such as the price of items. Everything is known was the only reply he received from Aurelio when he asked him where he got that information from. Aurelio II is known to have the capacity for knowledge, as he has studied many books to the point that it is almost magical. This is due to the fact that he was sheltered from his life due to being the illegitimate child born out of wedlock. He has a very solitude and hermit-like personality that is attributed to other Aurelios. Along with this solitary personality, he also has the foresight and premonition that Colonel Aurelio had. This is how he's able to have information of events as he were there if they happened. This ties with some of the effect that family has with other generations, as he is similar to other characters. One main aspect that family can define your future with Aurelio II is that his grandmother, Fernanda del Caprio, had him closed off from the world. She didn't want him to know that her grandson was born out of wedlock, so in turn she makes him stay inside the house until she passes away. This drastically changes Aurelio's outlook on life and restricted his possible experiences. Aurelio II had to live with parameters set by his grandmother. This action from his family definitely defines Aurelio's future. This goes to show that family does define one's future.
Throughout the long history of the family, the insistent repetition of names had made Ursula draw some conclusions that seemed to be certain. While the Aurelianos were withdrawn, but with lucid minds, the Jose Arcadios were impulsive and enterprising, but they were marked with a tragic sign, Marquez 181. Throughout the story, which spans more than 5 generations of the Buendia family, many characters are named after previous generations. 2 of the most common names being Jose Arcadio and Aureliano, the 2 sons of the first Jose Arcadio Buendia. However, this quote reveals how one's family can affect one's in ways most people wouldn't even think about. Like when one considers the question of, does family define one's future, and as seen in a lot of our interviews, one would most likely think of the home environment or the financial situation that one is in. However, in the case of the book, the Aureliano and Jose Arcadios are actually affected by their bloodline and genes. To explain, throughout the book, there are multiple cases of incestuous relationships. And because their parents share the same blood, with no new genes being passed down, these children are bound to share the same traits as their parents. These children of incest are fated to be like the Aureliano or Jose's before them, sharing even their looks, personalities, and even future. In the case of the Jose's, they even share the same curse of tragic ends to their lives. And it is in this twisted way Marquez, the author, shows how family can definitely define one's future.